Assalamualaikum and good day to our lecturer Medu Shayu, to my classmates and also to who's watching this right now. My name is AFRINA CATURSARI BINTI SANTOSA and my group mates are ALDEENA, NORATIKAH ELYA and also NAJWA IZZATI, and we'll be presenting our reports on writing for new media, which is the company Google. The entire world must have heard about Google, as Googles not only hold the greatest power in the tech world, that most devices and gadgets today have their license in using their softwares, they also have conquered in having constantly strong search engine, widespread online advertising, and also extraordinary hardware that even I have one myself, which is the Google Home Mini.
Okay, playing your Get Out of Bed playlist.
Yeah, it can do that too. It's the Google Assistant for your house.
And more. They're even well known for the unique, non-mundane offices and their teamwork in generating atypical ideas. But what actually is Google and how it all started? Google, or Google LLC, which is short term for Limited Liability Company, is an American multi-channel technology that specializes in internet-related services and also hardware. They started during the 1998 that was founded by two Stanford University students, which is Larry Page and also Sergey Brin, with the mission of obtaining meaning from the mass of data caching on the internet back then. The name Google was discovered by Page's misspelled error of Google, which is a mathematical term for the number 1 followed by 100 zeros. The success rate was impossibly true, as now they hold more than 300 million people browsing Google per day. Even I myself use Google search engines, with more than 10 subsidiaries like YouTube, AdWords, Firebase, and more, with total revenues of 66 billion per year and ranked number 2 in the top world most valuable brands in 2019. Google has never disappointed us in proving the world how much influence they have. They constantly make sure that their software are universally accessible by making priorities to connect with the user, as it plays crucial roles in achieving their missions. So they decided to use 4 different platforms to connect with their audience, which is the official website itself, the social medias like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, which we are going to analyze the way they connect with their audience.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is NORATIKAH ZAHIDI and I will be sharing regarding Google's official website. So according to Clear Tech Interactive Corp, there are different types of purposes that websites may serve depending on who the intended audience is. So the first purpose is to sell products, second is to provide practical information, and lastly is just merely for entertainment. Based on our research, it was found that Google somehow managed to merge all 3 purposes of a website into one. So overall, on the official website, we can see that the writing made by the team on the website are done ethically and used appropriate language. This is because there were no contents that may have offended anyone written on the website, since they do have an image as an international company to take into consideration. Moreover, there seems to be no grammatical error that can be found on their website, and it is believed that they do have a program that helps them with the spellings as well as in any grammatical issues. Next, as the major search engine that serves to give out information to its users, they also implemented such manner into their website. This is because there were no elements of the 3M, which is manipulation, misquotation, or misleading information that is found on their website. For instance, with the pandemic issue going on around the globe, everyone will want to gain accurate information regarding the matter. And as a major search engine with 70% of the population as its users, they are bound to give out the information that the users seek. which is why even on that website, we can still stay updated about the situation. Moving on, for the images and captions used on the website, it was found to be well appropriate and are according to the proper guidelines. The writing on the website is definitely sufficient with information not only on the company, products, stories around the globe, but also on the investors as well, which proves that they are applying a sense of clarity about the company to the public. Because not many companies usually will put information regarding on the investors, which we find to be unique that Google is doing such. Also, in regards of the sufficiency of information, their writings aim to give every information needed by the users. Therefore, they make sure to write every details on the matter. However, should the users feel dissatisfied with the information provided, they can also contact them for further details. All in all, we can say that Google's website definitely ticks all the boxes as a good website example. One recommendation, however, we would suggest is that Google should definitely promote their website better. This is because it can be slightly confusing for the users to find, as well as confirming as to whether they had found the right and official website or not. This is because most of the time users treat Google only as a search engine and therefore would perform specific searches on the search engine instead. If only the users had known that the website carries almost all the information regarding Google itself, it would have made the users' lives easier, as well as allowing them to explore new things on the website that they might not have been able to find on the search engine. And that is all for me regarding Google's official website. Thank you, and moving on to the next presenter.
Right now, I'll be talking about how Google connect with their audience using Facebook. So on Facebook, they have 29,538,019 and still counting followers, and more than 27 million likes they received for the whole post they posted on Facebook. So like any other social media platform, Facebook also one of the platforms that Google decided to use to connect with a broader range of audience. Google not only prioritize in posting new information about the company, but they also give a attentive effort in their writing that make them seem interesting enough to follow them. So based on our analysis, we can find several elements that they use to write and respond to their audience. So the first element that they use is read the room. Just like the example that's shown, it is a post showing an appreciation to all the military veterans at the same time promoting their sites that can help small businesses grow, like the fashion company Sour and Flow, that was inspired by a military family, especially their strong, amazing mother, who used to serve the country. So there are three elements, which are military appreciation, women empowerment, and most importantly is supporting small businesses by promoting their small business platform, which is called Google Ads. We can see that Google used the right time to say the right things to promote their advertisements and business platform to gain more clients using their sites, especially during this stay-at-home season. So the second element that Google used in their writing, which is the language they use and also misquotation. So most of it are appropriate words that do not contain any bad nature words that can cause misinformations or any controversial topics. The words they use are very compact, simple, and easy to understand by all range of users. Google write their posts with much precautions as there are no grammatical errors that in every post they posted. When it comes to quotations, writers have to be very careful in every word they interpret, as one single mistake can lead to misquotation, which is important element in article writing. So if writers did not follow the article writing guideline, issues like misquotation will surface. Google managed to use quotation carefully and wisely, as we can see from the previous example. They quoted people's stories fully without leaving any words that can lead to misunderstanding. So the third element that Google used in their writing, which is an emotional connection type of content. For example, we can see from the post, which is about an old man suffering from dementia, and how Google is creating this bicycle prototype where people who suffer from dementia can go down their memory lanes with the help from Google Street Views. This not only gives that wholesome feelings to the users, but they also indirectly promoting their invention, just like what happened in the previous example. So for the fourth elements that they use is avoid misleading. We can see that Google used relevant caption to explain about the video, as it do not contain any misleading information, just like the post that I've shown before. They write suitable captions that are very relevant with the context with full decency. So the last elements that they use is creative artwork. So not only they use words and sentences to write up their content, but they also change their typical write-up to creative illustrations that seems to be unique and fun to look at. So even though the picture shown seems clean and simple, but it is enough to illustrate the content of the message. So we can see from the post, which is about promoting a small businesses called Go Rock, which is one of the small businesses that use Google platform to promote their products. So we can see clearly how they use illustration to represent Go Rock, which make it easier for audience to get what they're trying to say or what actually Go Rock is. So based on the analysis of Google writing in Facebook, it shows that they follow the ethical writings rule that explaining about some things as it shows their level of professionalism. However, there are some things that can be amended, which is Google managed to talk about dementia in the previous post in a careful manner, as it can be a very sensitive subject. However, they do not provide full information of what dementia is, as there are some people that may be clueless about it. This also applies to any posts by Google that contain jargons, as this actually should be taken seriously in order to avoid any confusions or misinterpretation in the futures. So secondly, it is true that writer will not use excessive amount of hashtag in one single post, as it can be very distracting or look desperate. However, a small amount of hashtag that they use cannot reach more audience, as people like to tap on hashtag and see what is going on. So they should try increase the hashtag to spread their message to a wider and broader audience. And last but not least is to control themselves from using auto-generated sentence when communicating with audience, as it can be seen that Google use these features a lot to interact with their users. So Google should partially stop using these features so that the users will have better perception about them and better experience with them. But nonetheless, Google excels themselves in creating a wonderful writing that fills with ethics on their Facebook page. So that's all for me. Now we'll move on to the next presenters.
So, Assalamualaikum. My name is ALDEENA, and today I will be presenting about Twitter. So, Twitter is a social networking site and is one of the most popular social media sites today. And the main purpose of Twitter is to connect people with one another and allow them to share their thoughts and opinions with a large audience. So, on the official Twitter page, Google often updates their consumers on what is new on their many applications like Google Meet, Google Classroom, Google Docs, all that stuff. Okay, so moving on to the analysis of their tweets. So the first tweet that I have chosen is one of Google's tweet that says, "The way we work, live, and get together has changed so much. We made premium video meetings with Google Meet free for everyone. Head to meet.google.com or find it in Gmail for your work meetings, birthday meetings, doctor's meetings, book meetings, or yoga meetings." So from the tweet, we can see that there are no grammatical errors. And as we know, grammar is very essential when it comes to writing, especially for huge companies like Google, for example. So the language used is not that appropriate because only a certain age group can understand the meaning of the tweet, because Google has used a number of emojis to replace certain words. It can only be understood by people who use emojis on a daily basis or are familiar with emojis and the meanings behind it. So the next one is this tweet adheres to social media etiquette, in which it uses the appropriate number of emojis. In this case, they have used 5 emojis. So the abuse of emojis, especially for a big company, can convey that your company is not very professional in a way. So the next one is this tweet has an emotional element to it. As you can see in the original tweet, there is a video attached to it, and it's basically about how Google Meet users are using the platform to conduct virtual birthday parties, virtual meetings, virtual get-togethers, and basically just trying to connect with one another. So this tweet, it has an emotional element because many of us can relate to the new reality of staying indoors, being in quarantine, and trying to stay connected with our loved ones. So in my opinion, this tweet upholds their image because they have made the platform free for everyone to use, and it shows that they're listening to what their consumers want and need. So the last one is Google's Twitter page applies the best practices and tips for social media writing. Despite the 280 word limit on Twitter, Google manages to always keep it short and simple with their tweets, and they never seem to go over the word limit, so it makes their tweets easy to read and comprehend. So the next tweet is a tweet from the month of Ramadan, where it says, type Ramadan in search to find a delightful banner, greetings, videos, and other helpful information. So from this tweet, we can see that there are no grammatical errors, and it applies the best practice on writing for social media because it is concise, straightforward, and honest in its writing, because as we know it, Google is very inclusive, and it's evident from the Google Doodles that they do every month or every religious holiday, where they change the Google logo on their search engine. So the writing also adheres to social media etiquette because the tweet is written for a certain group of people, which are the Muslims who are practicing Ramadan. And it is important to keep your content focused on your consumers so that they develop a positive opinion on your company. So the last one is this tweet is ethical in writing, and as we know, ethical writing is writing with a level of inclusion, respect, and acknowledgement of diversity. This tweet accurately conveys what is ethical writing, as it is inclusive of practicing Muslims that are celebrating Ramadan, and it has a sense of respect for the month of Ramadan and the Muslims that are practicing it. Other than that, ethical writing is also the level of acknowledgement of diversity, and there are over 1.9 billion Muslims in the world, and as a huge company, Google is very ethical for acknowledging the diversity in the population of the world, even though that there are very hateful and Islamophobic people in the world. So in short, Google is a very professional company that writes ethically and adheres to all the best practices and tips of social media writing. One suggestion that I would give for Google's Twitter page is, upon researching and looking through their tweets, I found that in the replies there would be spams from troll accounts or accounts that were not helpful to the tweet, and only one recommendation that I would give is for Google to filter out their replies so it will be easier for their consumers to find helpful replies and they can benefit from other people as well as from Google. And that is all from me. Thank you.
Moving on to Instagram account, Google do own Instagram account, such as to promote campaign, share about current issues, spread awareness, as well as promoting their own product. After one choose Google's Instagram, I think most of their posts are reduced to article writing as well as social media etiquette. This can be seen because there is no plagiarism and deception with what the company posts on Instagram. For example, Google has mentioned YouTube as well as Han Academy because Google is trying to promote their event. Then we can see that Google only used 2 hashtags on their posts. The language that has been used is appropriate. Since Google is promoting about an event, which is between YouTube as well as Han Academy, Google also provide the reader with info regarding the event, such as who is the organizer, also as provide the link to sign up for the event. Second point is there's no issues regarding 3M, which is misleading, misquoting, as well as manipulation. This can be seen because the caption on Google's Instagram is not confusing because it's very straightforward. All the info that has been provided is valid. It's because when the reader click the website link that been provided by Google, they will straight away get the info regarding the event. Next, the choices of picture is appropriate because there is no sensitive issues or sensitive material on the picture. Last but not least, regarding the caption is suitable and relevant because it does explain what the picture is all about. According to picture in the slide, Google applies social media content writing tips. For example, Google used the tips by making the caption short and simple. Although the caption is short and simple, right? But Google doesn't cut the character. Google also includes adding a call to action into their posts, such as learn more at the link in our bio. By doing that, it helps Google to get their readers to know more about the awareness or any info regarding the event. Lastly, Google adheres to social media etiquette because Google only use a few hashtags on their posts. My suggestion towards Google, firstly, maybe they could improve their writing by adding more details regarding the event instead of just provide the link to the readers. Second, perhaps maybe they could bold some important words in the caption, so that especially title, so that the readers won't confused with the information. Thirdly, maybe they could add emoji icons to the caption to make it more interesting. Maybe Google also can write caption that encourage the reader to comment, to share the post with their friend, as well as to tag their friend inside the comment section. In terms of the ethic writing, I think Google has no issue with it because based on what the company posts on the Instagram, everything is fine. After all, to have good writing skills are an important part of communication because good writing skill enables someone to communicate and deliver their message with clarity as well as easier to reach larger audience. Good writing skills such as there's no grammatical error, use appropriate punctuation, as well as there's no misspelling error. It is important because good writing skill can form a positive impression from the reader. Google provides sufficient information, especially about their new apps, and manage to keep their audiences with the latest news as well as amazing story. However, Google still lack on interacting and communicating with their audiences on Facebook. For example, Google just left their audiences comment hanging with no solution. I think it's unfair because as a good and well-known company, Google needs to maintain their relationship with the audiences with any platform that they have. Not only on Instagram or on Twitter, they also need to maintain their relationship with the audiences on Facebook as well. Apart from that, there are plenty of benefits after doing this grouping assignment. For example, it helps us to improve our writing abilities, provide knowledge regarding the social media content writing tips, and the importance of ethical writing. But the most important thing is our group gained new knowledge about how Google handle their social media pages. That's all from our group. Thank you.